Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished speakers and colleagues, my name is Chun, Head of Office, United Nations Office for Sustainable Development in Incheon, Republic Korea. Welcome and thank you all for joining this International Mayors Forum preparatory webinar focusing on leaving no one behind persons with disabilities and addressing inequalities in our cities and communities, which we are co-organizing with the UN DESA Division for Inclusive Social Development and the Division for Sustainable Development Goals. I would like to especially thank our distinguished speakers, Ms. Daniela Bass, Director of the UN DESA Division for Inclusive Social Development, co-organizer of this meeting, who will also deliver her opening remarks. Mr. Victor Callis, Commissioner, Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities, City of New York, USA, Dr. Daisy Kujitra, President, World Family Organization, Mr. Johnny Tom Banis, State Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities, State of Tamil Nadu, India, Mr. Murai Padmanabhan, Disability Inclusion Advisor, Right for the World. I'd also like to thank our moderator, Dr. M. Sibanda, Chief of the National Strategies and Capacity Building Branch, UNDESA, Division for Sustainable Development Goals, of which UNOSD is an integral part. This webinar is part of a series our office, UNOSD, is organized on the topics of the International Mayors Forum planned in November this year. Through this webinar series, we aim to learn about the challenges that local governments are facing, as well as potential solutions for rapid and sustainable recovery from COVID-19 as we prepare for the International Mayors Forum. In September 2019, during the UN Secretary-General SDG Summit, heads of state agreed on a political declaration adopted by the UN General Assembly called for accelerated progress on the SDGs and committed to leaving no one behind. The political declaration further stressed the need to place a focus on the poorest and most vulnerable in our policies and actions, while bolstering local action to accelerate implementation. The political declaration also committed us to empower and support cities, local authorities, and communities in pursuing the 2030 agenda. As you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated inequalities and vulnerabilities and affected the capacity of local government to deliver public service and to ensure that the basic needs of people living in hardship are met. As a result, many local initiatives, plans, and programs meant to provide equal access to technology, education, livelihoods, and service, focusing on the most vulnerable social groups, were put on hold, impacting the gains for many of the SDGs, as well as our common commitment to leave no one behind. The UN World Social Report 2020, which was published by our colleagues of the UN DESA Division for Inclusive Social Development earlier this year, highlights that even before being hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, our world faced historically high levels of inequality. Persons with disabilities are particularly vulnerable to rising inequality and poverty. It is worth noting that of the nearly 1 billion persons with disabilities, an estimated 80% live in cities across developing countries offering poverty. Persons with disabilities are among the poorest, most vulnerable in our cities and communities today. While obstacles exist to achieve the SDGs for persons with disabilities, local governments and actors are key in enabling this progress. Scaling up the inclusion of and accessibility of persons with disabilities across cities and communities today is an imperative to leave no one behind. This webinar will examine current trends, responses, and lessons to accelerate SDG progress for citizens living with disabilities and make inclusion and empowerment a reality for all. Before concluding, I would like to thank again our partners, the UN DESA, Division for Inclusive Social Development, and Division for Sustainable Development Goals, as well as distinguished speakers and all the participants. I invite you all to follow UNOSD future activities, particularly around the sustainable cities and communities, such as the International Mayors Forum later this fall. Thank you for your attention.